Hello and welcome. Well, can you tell me where I am welcoming you to? Maybe if I pan around a bit, you might guess. Or you probably cheated and looked at the map in the top right hand corner. We're in the northern corner of House Fialen with the obligatory waterfall. I, it could be sewage that I've probably chosen a very unglamorous spot to sit for the preamble this time around for the level 5 edition of the Battles of Brother Purple. Our monk life, Henshin monk life. Um, where to begin? Well, we just had a rotten time, not related to this playthrough, a rotten time with poor Annie and her Hungry One character. That's a warlock on the legendary game. We tried a couple of quests. The second one, oh, the lag was as bad as I've ever seen it. I guess because it's peak time. It's Saturday night for me here in the UK, so Saturday afternoon, I guess, US. And some of the stuff going on. We tried the Whodunit quest in the Lord's March Plaza, and as far as I could tell, well, there was the first group of opponents that you see, that collection of raptors and things in the sort of courtyardy area. I dropped a load of crowd control on them. The game just seized up, and then everything came rushing towards us, ran right through me and past me. And then some of these raptors were sort of greyed out like they were NPCs, no health bar or anything, and yet they were still killing us. So not good times. We just, I guess, we frustration quit would be the right term for that. Um, so there we are. So I thought I'd come here and try and chill a bit and do the next edition. It's been fun so far. I've learned plenty, not least of which about these special attacks and the finishing move and that kind of thing, and the fact that for the monk, especially on Reaper mode, attack is definitely the best form of defense. I found that stacking up all the double strike we can and just hammering the Reaper down before it can finish us is the best way to go. So as soon as I see one, we hit the Reaper's strike, 30 double strike, quick strike another 25, so we're up over 50. Every other, well, more than every other hit is a double shot, and even the Reaper can't take too many of them before being put down. So you just have to hope that you get them before they get you. I think there was a good illustration of that at the start of the previous episode. We got a famine and a fear right next to each other, didn't we? And I did exactly that, I think, in panic. Just hit those two, and we managed to outlast them, didn't we? Or wasn't there a plague thrown in there as well? I can't remember. I know there were two right next to each other, which probably helped us because we were able to hit both of them together. So yes, that's my very unsophisticated Reaper strategy at the moment. I would love in the fullness of time if we can get that hunting bird to do something to either blind them or whatever it is it does, slow, blind, just to give us a bit more chance. Right, I have looked at the footage of the previous episode and determined that this snow ruby thing, although it doesn't say it there, is doing a little bit of cold damage as well. So it's not like we're really missing out on having a ruby of whatever, electric whatever, in there. We're still getting some damage, and also the possibility of this freeze, which does seem to go off reasonably regularly. So I'm quite happy with that. It's kind of replacing our petrification stones, although the petrification stones I was able to target, they don't have the save anymore, and things are saving all the time against them. So unfortunately, they'll have to be shelved for the next life. Speaking of which, we're well on the way to finishing with the fun little cookies that we've been using. In fact, I'll take those blindness ones off the bar because they're just not working either, are they? The ones I should leave, I'll remove that. In fact, I think the only one I'm going to keep on is the blade barrier. But for the quest I've got planned, I don't think we'll need it. I think we might be saying goodbye to the cookies for now. So we say we use them for the first sort of 4 levels or so, and they were a big thing to lean on. Really really helpful in a pinch with the dragon breath and the blade barrier. Very good. The shard storm a little bit less, I think. I've been recommended to try Thunder Snow as a Reaper Zapper. I will make the request next time around for the start of the next life. What else was there? The little blur thing, the blue Abishai, was very nice until we got to level 3 and we had blur on the gear. It's been pointed out to me by one of you that there is an armour from the Salt Marsh, so I'm guessing that's a level 3 clickable with blur, three charges of blur, which would be nice to have. It's not something I have or even knew existed, so thanks for that. What have we got here? Right, let's go into the... What did we get at level 5? We got some armor class bonus. So between that and the gear improvements, we're up to 41, which, as you can see, is still a reasonable chance to attract misses at our level. Dodge is up to a 16, which in Reaper would equate to 19, I think, so that's nice too. Saves there, you can see, are looking very tasty. 20 plus at level 5 is not bad at all. And bearing in mind that 21 is going up to 24, I think, in Reaper mode. And that's what we will be relying on to make our evasion save, so not too shabby. Right, we've got some nice Feywild gear. Well, actually, yeah, we do. We've got some really tasty items here for the build. This thing here, I mean, we've had some overpowered helmets in the past in our lives, haven't we? That Sicrarium Suncatcher from the dinosaur area with the 2 profane bonus to spell DCs at level 7 is ridiculous. But this here, this might even top it, in my opinion. 15 on Heal Amp, which, if you've been following the strategy, you know, to hit them and then take healing from each subsequent hit, because we've hit them with the Fist of Light. That's huge. All healing amp is huge for us. So 15 on that is great. And look at the rest of it. 10 melee power. Now melee power is like gold dust in heroic, so to get something at level 5 with 10 of it is ridiculously good. Really, really nice. And bearing in mind, I think our candle, lighting the candle, scales with melee power. Yeah. So not too shabby at all. Of course our normal damage will be going up with that. Enchantment focus is not interested, and magical sheltering we have both PRR and MRR on this ring, which I just threw in there in the absence of anything else, so that's a bit redundant. Necklace, it's our standard caster piece. Obviously the casting thing we're not interested in, but insightful PRR and MRR we like. And you can see we've improved a little bit. This isn't terrible. And also there is a extra PRR and MRR from the Mythic boost there, and the Sapphire of Good Luck for save. So all in all, not horrible. Plus, it's a fifth Feywild piece, which is giving us an extra bonus on dodge, and dodge is really strong for this build because we have robes all the time. We have a high dodge cap. We want to make the best use of that to get as many misses as possible. These are all the same. The belt is beautiful for the build. Con for health, speed, very nice because I'm not wearing any other speed item at the moment, and 5% bonus to attack speed. I noticed I had not bothered with haste potions, and I don't think I will this time around because that gets you up to 15%, and they only last 30 seconds. So I'm not going to be messing about, I don't think, with that. Ram's Might, that's a permanent 2 on strength and damage, I think, which is great at the moment because we're relying on strength. You can see at the moment our strength is very nice. We could have had higher wisdom by equipping thorn boots, but I didn't see any point in boosting wisdom at the moment because aside from giving you slightly higher ki, we're not using it for hit or damage, so that'll be for later. So in the boot slot instead I've gone with the dragon scale boots for seeker, a bit more on armor class. So because of the protection bonus there, I don't think that'll stack with mage armor, so I won't bother casting that anymore. Sapphire of resistance for saves, and a bit more PRR and MRR with the mythic boot boost, so it all adds up to something a little bit better down here. Gloves are the same. I'm keeping them in the absence of anything better, just because of the boosts that they've got on them. Same deal with that. Mythic boost. Nothing better to put in the slot. Now, this little beauty here, I was discussing it with one of you, and I wasn't aware of just how high the bonus is, given the emphasis we are putting on healing amp. Look at this, 50 insight bonus to positive healing amp. Now that, coupled with the bonus on our newly worn cloak, it's the first time we've ever worn this Garb of the Spring Winds. We've got everything we would like on there: healing amp, fortification, dodge, fire resistance. Remember I said I was going to put some resistance topaz in. Well, I've taken care of that now. We've got the 4 main ones covered. Sonic I'm not really bothering with because we don't tend to get hit by that too much. In before we die in a sonic trap. I just want to show you this Garb of the Spring Winds. Can we sit down so we can see you properly? There. Zoom in a bit there. It's like a leaf thing going on. Quite nice, that. Garb of the Spring Winds. Hopefully that's going to offer us some degree of protection. And I think that's the last one for the gear. So yes, 5 pieces. So we've got bonuses to hit points, spell points we're not bothered about, 1 on all ability scores, very nice, 1 on dodge, very nice. So all in all that's great, but there are 2 main pieces, that heal amp and this heal amp and melee power, really great. If we consider the fact that, oh, what's happening here? Did I click the wrong one? What a surprise. I probably clicked Epic Destinies. I've just nabbed another 20 heal amp in the Aasimar tree because there was nothing too compelling in the Mystic tree for now. And I had a quick check to see exactly where we're at, and I'm seeing 139 on the positive heal amp, which at level 5 to me seems ridiculously good. So we've done a good job there. I'm thinking maybe mysterious cloaks, would they stack possibly with some of this stuff? I think they might, because I think they're an exceptional bonus to heal amp. I have a feeling they might stack with all this, and what this is doing is making our Fist of Light healing more effective. You'll notice in well, we're going to do an experiment here because we're going to have a go at the non-reaper. What's it called? Oh, come on! Don't tell me you can't. Tangleroot. I've written it down. I had to go off that because one of you mentioned that you kind of have a set way of going through things. So the rest of us were a bit surprised to find that you own a couple of the expansions and haven't set foot in them because you have your kind of set routine and you've stuck to it. Now that I can understand, but with that in mind, I'm going to deliberately divert from my routine now. Level 5 I would have been heading straight for the salt marsh as usual. Every quest, saga, I would have done that, and I would have ignored this one, Tangleroot. But we're going to go with it. It doesn't have a Reaper option, so we're going to see how much, if anything, the Fist of Light healing is improved by going in on Elite with no Reaper nerf. We'll see what kind of numbers we were getting. For reference, when I was testing just before, I was getting anything up to +4 per heal, per hit rather, when I'd hit something with the Fist of the Light after I'd put all this healing amp on. So that's kind of our lifeblood, the heal amp. So I'm quite pleased with that. We're up near 100 on a healing hands, even with a Reaper nerf. So I'll be interested to see how that goes with the without the nerf on Elite. You'll also see, I'm sure, in there, because there are a lot of Hobgoblin Cleric casters who use the Flame Strike in abundance. Hopefully you'll see how good our evasion is and we can just laugh at them and we take no damage. What else have I got noted down here? No feather fall on the gear, but I did notice that we've now got this slow fall thing as a monk ability, and I've really enjoyed having that. You know, you don't just sort of drop like a stone, you seem to sort of glide a little bit, and it's quite immersive, that the way it works, and it leaves me not really missing feather fall that much, not really taking much damage at all on a fall, and I've enjoyed that, I must say. What have we got here? Oh yes, about the healing amp I've already mentioned. Yeah, we had cure serious potions outside of combat, healing for 50 plus, which to me is just unheard of. And yeah, the Petrify Stone, level 4 quests, I was targeting what I thought would be vulnerable things like archers at the back, and they were saving all the time against the stones. So it seems to me like first couple of well, it's only really level 3 where you start getting the red crowns in, isn't it? The champions. So those level 3 quests is where those things would be the most useful, I think. You could say why bother, but once you hit level 4, you've got the backing of your Reaper points and better gear coming and more abilities. You're kind of less vulnerable then. That level 3 is a bit vulnerable if you're doing Reaper with the red crowns. So I like to think they had their use, those things. I'm not disappointed. They did work quite well up to 4. Flame strikes we've mentioned. Oh yes, I've got to mention this. One of you already mentioned in the comments. Apologies, I'm a few quests ahead. This was in the comments, the feedback for the episode 1. One of you mentioned about the shuriken, is it called Shadow something or other, that drops in the end reward for the Shantakor chain. So I decided I'd go after that. Didn't get the thing in the end, but my goodness me, I wish I'd have recorded the... some of you can perhaps remember the problems Purple had as a favoured soul doing that Halls of Chanticleer at the same level. Level. What level were we, in fact? Maybe even we were level 4, I think. I think he was a level 4 when he did the. Or 5 max. When he did. Around this level anyway. And you'll remember we had all sorts of trouble with the being bombed by the cleric flame strike casters in that central room. We'll call it the gauntlet. With the flame traps and the poison traps and God knows what else. He got through that handsomely. The traps, most of them got evaded. Same deal for the fire gauntlet and the cold traps afterwards. I was thinking, my word, this this build is just tailor made, isn't it, for this? I thought about showing you the Red Willow's. Is it Red Willow's ruins in the marketplace on the back of that, because that's a trapped disaster, and I've always fared horribly in there on a class without evasion. So yeah, he really shone in that Halls of Chanticleer. I was super impressed. I noticed a little light the candle thing works for the shuriken too, but I'm hoping that once we get a better shuriken we can have slightly better results than at present, because the damage is lamentable. I think on Kaylee's build he does take I think at level 6 as an optional as a extra monk feat he takes the 10,000 stars, which I think as part of it boosts up the shuriken power, doesn't it? Something to do with adding wisdom to the ranged power or something, and maybe double shot as well, so you get like 30 seconds of super shuriken power. I think that's the only condition under which I'm going to use the shuriken, so hopefully they'll be acceptable in that situation. If we get something like maybe the Demon Queen, where you absolutely need a ranged option. Okay, so yes, going back to the shuriken, I obviously didn't get the. I thought we were a bit unlucky, because that's quite an extensive reward list you get from the Seal of Chanticleer, but we didn't get it. So the next possible one is another little run chain. At least I think it's not run too often now. Sorrow Dusk. Another of the issues with that, like the one I'm about to run, the Tangleroot, it's spread across 4 different levels. It goes from 6 to 10. So I'm proposing we try it at 8 and see how we go, and see if we can drop this snow star, is it called, the shuriken. I think it has quite a nice crit profile. So aside from anything else, if it's returning and it saves me from carrying all this clobber in my backpack, that will certainly help. I've mentioned that already. Yes, so I complained in the last quest about the light the candle reducing our key generation, because it does. At the bottom you can see key generation on hit reduced by 1. That's because I was systematically hitting the Fist of Light every time it was off cooldown. Now, in recent quests we did the much of the waterworks in the harbour. Things were dying reasonably quickly without blowing my own trumpet, to the extent that it almost wasn't worth hitting the healing fist unless we had maybe a group in front of us that we could make a couple of them vulnerable to it, or a big target like a boss or a reaper or something like that, which is probably quite good, because that's going to lead me to use it more judiciously rather than just all the time, and conserve the key for when we actually can get some benefit from it, because if the things die straight away, you're not getting any healing because it's already dead and you can't hit it again. Fairly self-explanatory lesson to self, I think. Right then, so why Tangleroot? Well, first, because as I've just said, one of you mentioned you had your set habits, and I think a lot of people do. You know, down to the exact quest. Oh, we'll do these quests and this chain and that chain, and we'll get to the cap, and that's fair enough. But keeping things fresh and just maybe sometimes discovering new content or just a change of pace, doing something a bit different, I don't think is ever a bad thing. So that's one reason why I'm going for this. Another reason could be it's good XP, and that's not open to debate. It's a fairly quick chain to run and really good XP. I think by the time we've done this one, we will very likely be able to take 6. So not too shabby on that score. End chain reward, you've got the Death Ward clickable. Visor of the Flesh Render Guards doesn't always drop in that end reward, but often enough that if you have no other Death Ward low level clickable, that could be a nice option for you. The best one is the one we've got here, the one from the Salt Marsh, available at a lower level for a longer duration and with 3 charges, so that's no contest. But if you don't own the Salt Marsh content, or you don't happen to have this and don't want to farm for it, it's a good chance that we'll find one of those visors in the end chain reward. Also, you can get, if you're lucky, I don't have any of them this time because I'm not a caster, but those efficacy items that you can click to raise your universal spell power for 3 minutes, which I've thought were quite nice. Or indeed any what they call clicky items. If you're lucky, maybe an invisibility clicky, which I'm sure would be very valuable to most people. Or some things like we've got on these boots, shield, jump, that kind of stuff can drop in the end chains, so worth doing. Let's give a balanced perspective here. Why would we not run Tangleroot? Well, for the Reaper aficionados, no Reaper available, so no Reaper XP. It's spread across how many levels? 5 levels, 3 to 7, so that can make it difficult juggling the levels of the group and the quests about. Running to the quest area through the wilderness area, not for everybody. I don't mind it too much. It's reasonably quick now we've got horses. The quests all take place in the same fortress, so you sort of complete one objective, go back, get the next objective, go back in the same thing, open the portcullises again, same deal, going back. So not the most imaginative, I will grant that. But as a once in a while, I think we're going to give it a go anyway. My plan is to do the whole thing from start to finish, and if anybody's still awake at the end, well, congrats. We'll have to work out a prize to give. So we teleport into the area. So as much as anything, this is a bit of a fact-finding mission for me. I want to see how the healing goes on from the Fists of Light. If we get the same healing as we were doing in the Reaper mode, then clearly that's not subject to the Reaper nerf. But if we get much more, as I suspect we will, then this build on Elite will already be in a really good place for those of you who don't like Reaper mode. So out of the tavern, left and left again. Took me a while to oh, come on, off the horse. I found since I've discussed about wilderness areas, I've been much more likely to at least stop and pay some attention to the monsters encountered therein, rather than just charge straight through on the horse as I was doing. And I quite enjoy the change of pace. I mean, it's kind of like you're in God mode. Around to the left again, over 2 bridges. It's kind of like you're in God mode, but it's a nice change of pace. And look at this, it's quite a nice wilderness area. Second bridge. Fortress thing. We even got ourselves a little bonus, look. Oh. Now, is he a cleric up there? I think he might be. I wanted him to cast the flame strike so you could see. I don't think he's... Oh, is he? Is he going to? No. He's going to be... Oh, there's a boss there. Nice bit of freezing ice for you, sir. Go on, flame strike. He's not going to do it, is he? Just for that. Let's go and get your chest. I've left you a suit of armour in the chest there, Brian, if you want to go and collect it afterwards. Okay, so once we come round and talk to this fellow here, if we need to recall out or we want to restart at a later time, we can now teleport directly here from the tavern, so we don't have to do the full chain at one sitting. Although once you get into it, get used to it, you can wrap it up fairly quickly, about maybe half an hour for the full thing. Let's test the shuriken. Look, just to prove I'm not lying. There you go, there was an imbue there. In fact, the imbue did more damage than the shot itself. Okay, so you see no Reaper mode possible. I'm not sure exactly why that is. It's just always been the case, I think, for this chain. So first objective, slay 20 guards. Simple enough. No Reapers around, so that's good. So we'll know very quickly the answer to this healing business. That's if things survive long enough. We'll see a gradual increase in the... Do you know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure Reaper does nerf this healing. I don't think it does. So the healing you get in Reaper from... Oh, that makes it even better. The healing you get in Reaper from the Fists of Light is what you get. It's the same as what you're having on Elite. So that's not nerfed by Reaper mode. That's very interesting. I went for the Reaper strike there, blissfully ignoring the fact that we're not actually in Reaper mode. We can still get a full heal from our healing hands.
The portcullis cannot be opened here. There must be levers to control it nearby.
That's one thing. I remember this from when I first started doing Reaper 1s on my Warlock when Reaper first came out. You come down from Reaper 1 and play Elite, and suddenly Elite, which was slaughtering you, and it was slaughtering me when I started, you feel almost like you're semi-invincible. Although in this case, it's going to ramp up, because I think the first quest or two are at level 3, then there's a couple of level 4, and we finish with 6 and 7, I think. Look at that, 50 health from a Cure Serious heal potion. Is that, or is that not beautiful? Look at the double strikes coming in as well when we use the quick strike, which we should be doing all the time. So we've got one guard left. We'll go and grab him in here. Okay, let's just get rid of these people. Beautiful. Okay, recalling. So every time you complete an objective, you go back to the chief out here and pick up your next mission.
The hobgoblins here do not seem hostile.
Off we go again.
Chief beckons you closer.
Should have got on the horse, shouldn't I?
We have found the mouth of Splinter Skull. The shouts of hobgoblins echo.
Okay, what this time? Rescue 5 prisoners. So this is just a question of memorizing where the prisoners are. Oh, nice one. I think you two can stay where you are. Yeah, I don't think we have a very high spot on this build, do we? Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by that. The incoming healing from the Fist of Light. Oh, let's try the healing key. Oh, nice. Now I'm pretty sure that one is, the healing key is nerfed by the Reaper mode, because that was a really decent heal. But the Fist of Light one, when you hit a target and then hit it again, the healing you get from there is not subject to the nerf. We were getting 2s and 3s and 4s before in Reaper mode, so that's great. Makes us all the more survivable. If we can do that, as I mentioned, in a pack of things and hit 2 or maybe even 3 of them and have 3 things healing us, that's very nice. The only thing I miss outside of Reaper mode is the extra double strike we would have got from this. No, he needs to die. Look at that, we got a nice healing shot in on him early, and because he was lasting quite a bit, we got the payoff from it. Let's see if we can hit more than one. Yes, got 2 there, look. That white symbol's telling us we've got the healing thing on them. Now the prisoners are in either side of here. So we've got 2 in there, 2 on the other side, and 1 in the main room there.
You hear human voices crying when amidst this goblin laughter. This must be one of their voices.
Now that must have been a crit, because I saw an outline of a force, the purple force thing there. Look at that double strike hitting for 60. Really nice.
The prisoner flees
So
to
that
safety.
quick strike for double strike early on is really doing well. So there are 2 prisoners on each side.
The prisoner flees to safety.
I think one of you mentioned already in the comments I'm going to enjoy the speed of the monk. I certainly look forward to seeing how it goes at full speed, and the wings as well at 12. I cannot wait for that. I have a feeling that that's going to be one of the things that I don't forget to use. Prisoners, prisoners, prisoners. Nope. Okay.
The prisoner flees to safety.
Okay.
The prisoner flees to
Nice
safety.
one. So the last one, as I mentioned, is in the middle. Right up the centre, where there is a big group, as anybody of you who's done this quest will know.
This is the warden's room, where the prison's cruel master torments his captives.
You heard the big thump of a crit there from that red crown. Was it red crown? Can we have red crowns in non-Reaper content? I didn't think you could. We don't need keys, do we? We just need to free him, and the job's a good one. Okay. Back to the chief again. I think the next one is to kill the, not to kill the spider, to break all the eggs of the spider Whisper Doom.
The hobgoblins here do not seem hostile. In fact, their chief beckons.
Is that right? Or is it is that a later one? I'm pretty sure this is going to be level 4, so we might see a bit of a ramping up in the difficulty here.
The mouth of Splinter Skull. The shouts of hobgoblins echo from within.
Ah yes, acquire the 3. So again, just like with the prisoners, you've just got to know where these things are. They're always in the same place. So having gone up a level, I'm expecting a bit stiffer resistance. Ooh. Yeah, we got lucky there and froze that thing. Otherwise, I think it would have taken some big chunks out of us. That's the boots we're wearing. They can sometimes trigger a fire shield hot, which protects against incoming cold damage. You might recall that last time I did the Chanticleer, I was wearing a crown, I think, a crown of snow that can trigger a fire shield cold, and it just happened to trigger before I was due to go through some of the fire traps, so that was quite opportune. So this time through, the door is already open. Thank God, because to have to go through every quest and mess about with those levers would just be a little bit too much. So, first set of things is in here on the right hand side. So what we usually do if we have a group here, we send somebody down here to collect one, and then the others go into the main room and beyond where the other orders are. So we're going to see a boss in here. Nice one. Okay. Now up the middle. surprised if the cleric tried to drop a flame strike on us here. I should have let him do it just so you could see how good our evasion is. So the second one is along here. Now there's a big group to the left.
The air smells foul here.
I think these wolves can trip, so we better be wary of that. Ooh. Come on. Oh, we're missing him, are we? Healing key. Go. Beautiful. I have a feeling that because I'm moving around, I'm giving us less of a chance to hit. If I stand still and strike, some of the misses might not be misses. I think that's my theory anyway. Let's try and put that into practice. Nice job. So that's the second one. And the third one. Third one's a bit of a strange one. I come out here and I just run all the way around here, and eventually they come running towards me with the third one. I don't know if there's a quicker way to get to that. There's a couple up on the top level on the left here, which I don't think we're going to be able to do too much about. Certainly not with the shuriken, unless we want to spend hours at it. Oof. I did put some spare points into balance. I think we'll just leave them. Normally I just keep running round and round here, and I come more or less face to face eventually with the people who have the last the patrol map that we're looking for. You can see in Reaper our armor class is 45, so certainly not amazing, but not terrible. As a reference, a character with loads of past lives might start at level 1 with a similar armor class to that. Oh, and we haven't met them. I'm thinking then we haven't met them because we haven't shot these clerics. So let's try and put that right. I'm going to stand here deliberately so they can shoot me. Look, no damage whatsoever from the flame strike. That's the evasion. Beautiful. And now I think we'll meet... maybe there's a way to get up there that I haven't quite cottoned on to. I think there must be, because they have to have a way to come down, right? So I think what I've done in the past, I've shot those things and then they've come wandering down here and met me halfway. If that doesn't turn out to be the case now, I'm going to look like a right muppet. There was I saying half an hour for the chain. Come on, people. Take pity on me. That's where they were, isn't it? Do you know, I've never had this happen before, but I've to be fair, I've never just walked past them. I walked past them the first time. So where could they be? Maybe they're following me the other way, I don't know. Do you know, almost every time I've done this quest recently, I've walked around and they've been here in this area, just waiting. How strange. Is it because there's somebody there's somebody still up there at the top that I haven't killed. Oh, we're getting into the having to stop the recording territory here. Yeah, it's up there, isn't it? But I've never ever had to go up there. I'm not even sure if there's a way for me to reach there. Is there? Never. Oh, there is. Wow. Well, that's a first. I had no idea you could get up here. Well, that's news. So perhaps this is the location of the people with the third thing that we're looking for. So now where do they go? There you go. Pretty good evasion. I've never been in this section before. Ah, yes. Okay. Well, I've learnt something there. So we have to go up the wall and confront them. Okay. Well, almost always in previous adventures, I've never done that, never seen this area. So I suppose it's fitting on this journey of discovery for the monk that we should... What's behind here then? Anything? Shrine? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Sorry about the overly long walk around, but literally that's what I do. I go past that bit with the clerics on the ground floor, never climbed up, and the troops with the last piece of the puzzle always come face to face with me going round there. So I don't quite know what happened there. But that's nice. It's given us an opportunity to reveal, at least to me, another of the game's little secrets. So now we're on the break all the eggs bit. And this is probably the quickest one of the whole lot. You literally just make your way to the section we already were in. Break the 30 eggs. You don't have to kill the spider. I have seen it done. In fact, I have done it once myself on a ranged build, but it's a long old job. You get no... Oh my god, the lag. You get no reward for it. So, frankly, I wouldn't bother. I think we're still on level 4 here. I think it's next time around that we're going to be ramping up to 5 and going higher. Look at that, the healing key finisher. Beautiful. Just to reiterate, you don't need to be engaging an enemy to hit that healing key thing. It's not an attack, it's just to heal for you. You do have to trigger the Fist of Light attack 3 times to be able to activate it. I say trigger, I think you have to hit with it 3 times, not just strike. I like how you can have the finishing move thing on the bar and it switches to show you that you've got one available when one comes available. I guess if you're focusing on more than one different one, you'll find it even more useful to see which one is up. Again, I kind of deliberately stood in the spell's AoE there to illustrate the fact we can take the flame strike, no problem. Also, while we were feared there, did you notice the dodge and the miss? So we do have some defences, at least for this level. Try always to not let them surround me completely when we get a big group like this. So not the first right, but the second one. we can kill the lesser spiders, but the big one, unless you really put out some serious damage, you're not going to kill it, and you don't get anything extra for so doing. At least as far as I'm aware. Oh, that's not good. Use my harper pin there to get out of that. I should hit her with some healing thing, shouldn't I? Can I do that? Ooh. Tell you what, let's not mess with her. She hits hard. Let's just get the eggs broken and get the hell out of here. Do we want to mess with the chest? Why not? Okay. And just come a little bit out of her way. She can come a little bit out of the lair, but doesn't tend to turn the corner here. So it should be safe here. In before she comes flying out and eats me. She has as well, the little bug. I'm sure this game's on a mission to take everything I say and turn it against me. Go away, you little toe rag. Never had that before either. This is a... Is she going to chase us all the way? She is, you know. Flipping heck. Am I going to have to actually run back to the start here? Maybe now? Nope. My God. I've never known this before either. Normally you just run out of the room where she is, slightly round the corner, and that's it, job done. Unbelievable. Where is the start? Is that the... No, that's the way onwards. I just want to get... I'm not going to be able to get out of here, am I? Unless I go back to the start of the quest. Is that round there? Is this this? No, this isn't it, is it? Is it? No, no way. Is she still following? Oh my God. No, this is where she was. This was her lair, wasn't it? Christ. I'm so dense. Will you stay in here now? Is she gonna stay? No. We better get the map out and find where we're supposed to. I can see us having to go right out and out of the. Oh, they've respawned again up at the top there. I can see us having to go right out and out of the entrance the way we came in, if that's even possible. Because she's not giving us any breathing space, is she? Or maybe she will relent when we get to this turn off into this section here. Will she? No, she's still... Oh my God. Never ever had this before, but then again I've not run this chain for quite some time. Maybe that's one reason why people hang on, I don't see her, just the daughter now. I think we've given her the slip, finally. Oh my God. Oh, for a DDO. Okay, all that because I happened to mention, just a throwaway comment, that was the shortest of all the quests. I humbly apologise, game. Now this is the longest quest in the whole game, coming up. Now which one is this? Assault on Splinter Skull. So you can see this is already a level 5, so 7 on elite, so we're ramping up a bit now. So for these last few, I think they all start with you having to acquire this this key. So again, it's just a question of knowing where that is, and it's always in the same place.
Scratched into the stone here, almost invisible, is a message. Seek the spider caves. A massive, well-armed hobgoblin. One of
Ah, we get these bosses thrown in here. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Don't want that. Hit the old healing potion. Now that is something we're vulnerable to because we don't have. Ideally, we would have the eternal flask of freedom of movement from the mysterious remnants that you can get from the vendor in the Hall of Heroes, but only on special champion hunter weekends. So we are vulnerable to the hold spell that these things cast. I used the harper pin there to get us out of it, otherwise that would probably have been a death. These guys are definite candidates for doing the healing thing on, because they'll definitely take more than one shot to put down. So I'm going to go straight for the Avenger again. Should have gone for the casters. We don't want another of those hold things. I should have gone for the crown caster. Now that's a crown as well, that could be painful. Let's make sure we lead with the healing shot. Nice. Okay, we're going to have a bunch of people here. Try not to get knocked over by the wolves. Keep the quick strike going. Double strikes. Not bad, not bad. Sneaky heal. And the key, where that cleric is, it's just on the right, the passage where he is.
An arrow is drawn in the dust on the floor, almost completely obscured. It points to the side.
And you get a cue there from the DM text, just in case you forget where it is. Then all we have to do is make our way to the big barred gateway, go through it, and this section is complete. In before that spider comes back and chases us halfway across the map.
The last of the Arctich's eventual door remains locked. Your party has reached the inner stronghold. Ahead lies a sturdy, fortified door. From the other side,
So whatever you do, don't recall, because there's a little quest here as well. It's treated as a separate quest, so we do have to rebuff. It's only a tiny little thing. I don't think even 1000 XP, but it just sort of sets up the next one. Got a bit of a welcoming committee here. Okay, we could use our shuriken here just to open the drawbridge.
There are no controls.
I love how the first one always seems to drop down the middle of that thing. Now the ray of enfeeblement, we've got to be careful because we could end up uncentered here. If we take enough negative strength, we'll get some encumbrance, and if we get medium encumbrance or worse, it will uncenter us and we'll lose all our monk benefits. I'll just speak a bit to this fellow, and that's job done. That's setting up the next one.
The hobgoblins here do not seem hostile. In fact,
Okay, I think there's a couple more to go. I think this one might be level 6. So quest level 8.
you have found the mouth of Splinter Skull. The shouts of hobgoblins echo from within.
So again, we're just finding the key. It's in 2 parts, this one. Got to find the key first, and then you get to the meat of the quest. I think they could have got away with just starting you at the meat of the quest instead of having to rerun this section, but okay. On the plus side, it's a little bit more experience for not doing too much work, because you already know where the key is. See, we're almost completely immune to those flame strikes. The only thing I worry about a little bit is if one of them casts one and they happen to be a red crown and give us the damage over time, because that can get really ugly very quickly. Like this fella here, he could have really ruined our day. Where are the casters? Nice of you to stay frozen in the corner there, thank you.
Not all of Whisperdoom's offspring are destroyed after all. Zulkash must have been breeding these freaks.
Ooh, boss cleric.
Destroy them.
I was hoping the spiders would just stay in their area. Clearly they didn't want to. I noticed in one of the Shintao enhancements, you can modify your healing key things that we're using to include less arresto and unpoison or undisease or whatever. Since you can carry the bottles anyway, I didn't deem that one worth taking, but less arresto might be a thing, given how important it is not to be affected. I can see that being pretty good in something like Irestone, where they're constantly casting the, what is it, Ray of Enfeeblement on you. One thing I will say, at least so far, as you're probably well aware, Purple doesn't have the, well, many, if any, past lives really to help this build, and the gear is pretty modest. So the message here, I guess, is if he can make a fairly decent go at this experiment, then those of you who might be hesitating, you know, to try something new, maybe why not give it a go? I have no room to talk, you know. if you are like me and oh, I'm sticking to this class because I've got all the gear for it and I don't want to change and all that kind of thing. But all I would say is I've had a lot more fun, learned plenty about some of the other classes, just in trying. I'm not even trying this for the past life because this past life, which if you didn't know is +1 damage to weapons, so it would be good for anybody who plans to end up as a ranged or melee damage dealer. But for the caster that purple purports to be, pretty well useless. But just a nice little journey of learning. So now I've got to try and remember. Oh, we got hit there by a enfeeblement thing. Luckily for us, our strength is reasonable, so we can stand it. I think it's 3. Yeah, they're taking a little bit more downing now, aren't they? With the levels boosting up. 4. Those are your solutions to the wheels, if you needed to know.
Perhaps the hieroglyphs around it hint at the way through.
Yeah, there's a nice little telltale flash of yellow flame before they unload that that flame strike, just to allow you the chance to move. 4. And 1. Apologies if you can hear music in the background. The local pub are having a bit of a disco thing this evening, and it's thumping pretty loud.
A deep, sonorous voice echoes deep within this chamber.
Are we still buffed up? Yeah, I think we are.
The
Okay.
dead stands the splinter skull
Try not to take them all on all together.
must be destroyed.
Get the healing thing on him. So that's an example of one that's well worth. Oh, this one in fact, because this zombie is resistant to our shots, so to take lots of healing from him, well worth it.
Zulkash's notes speak of his attempts to control an elemental trapped in a
You have
water-filled
to
cavern.
nobble this totem pole.
The splinter skull totem
Happy days.
the rubble. You feel the Fane's aura of evil dwindle away.
So I think we've got one more to do now. In fact, I don't think, I know. Hopefully it hasn't been too painful for you so far.
Goblins here do not seem hostile. In fact, their chief beckons you closer. You have found the mouth of Splinter Skull.
So what level is this? Well, I think this is a 7, so effective 9, yeah. And we're only level 5, so it's just beginning to push the boat out a little bit. Be a tester for us. So again, just go for the key like before, and the meat of the quest will be after we've got to the second stage. So this would be another one in the why people aren't too keen on this chain column. This is it the 3rd time now we've had to to do this. A bit like the thing with opening the levers at the start, and does it really have to be done twice? It's a bit of a carry-on, isn't it? See again, somebody at the back there throwing all the flame strikes they like in, and not one of them touched us. I can assure you from painful experience that when you don't have evasion, those things really hurt. We should be making use of the quick strike all the time to get the bonus double strike going, and the healing fist on at least one opponent. Try and get it on the big ogre. I think we did. We got it on a couple of them there. Look at the healing coming flooding in there. Beautiful. Oof. Now what gives, isn't it heroism that gives immunity to, no, it must be greater heroism immunity to fear, so we're not quite there yet. I think there is a yellow augment, isn't there, that also gives that. And now what level is that? Is that level 4 or 8? I can't remember. Now that's one thing that's definitely noticeable on Elite. You can chug your potions without the Reaper nerf when you're classed as being in combat, which we certainly were there. .60 odd, 50 to 60 on a Cure Serious potion is just awesome. And so we should with the healing amp we have. Now where? Whoa. Oh, we don't need the key, do we? Do you know I'm a muppet? We already have the key. All you have to do is go to the stronghold. A momentary lapse. One among many in my case.
The lock on your party has reached the inner stronghold. You hear hobgoblin voices beyond the stronghold.
Okay, so this is where the meat of the quest is. So ready up. Always consider it a really nice bonus if we can hit more than one with the opening Fist of Light to get the double healer thing going. I don't think we've even had to use a lay on hands yet, have we? I keep them for cases of emergency, as you saw at the beginning of the last quest, which definitely did class as an emergency. Yeah, they're taking more to chunk down now, aren't they, than they were before. Let's not get caught in the middle of all that. I'll tell you one thing I've almost completely ignored. The healing key thing. Must pay more attention to that. Now that is nerfed by Reaper, I'm sure of that. Took a big chunk there. Healing key. Yes. Have some of that. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so either side
This
we'll find a
door is
key.
locked but unbarred. With the right key, it should open. An
Hold
open
this
valve
area, I
has
think.
nostrils
Make
for
them
air.
come through the gauntlet. Oh, best laid plans and all that. Whenever knocked down, I think it's a good idea to try to block. You can still block when you're on the floor. Let's get there. That would have been a one for the healing hands. I don't know why I didn't. I'm too precious with the healing hands.
Gnarl drops a key as it crumples to the floor.
That was really silly. That should have been a healing hands all day long.
Thunderous howl splits
Again, we're
the
going to
air.
try and hold the
War Master
entrance
groans,
here.
but he may know how to.
Oh, he's a red crown at the back and he's ranged as well. That's not good. Okay. Let's get some healing thing from you, I think. Oh, look at that.
As troops fall, something small and metal
Okay.
clatters to the ground. A key.
Get rid of the feeblement thing, please. Okay, now there's a couple of traps in here, but we should sail through those. Of course, now I've said that, it's going to tear us to pieces.
Flames leap high from braziers in this grand chamber. You have found the heart of Splinter Star. Chief Architect's throne room.
I should have... Oh my god, the lag. I should have triggered the Hood of Unrest there just to save us a bit of pain here, but we can take it. Now we've got the healing coming in as well. Nice.
Sighs as he sags to the ground. The chieftain of Splinter Skull is slain.
Okay. Key. Oops. And as discussed, the end chain reward can contain that visor, which for a long time was the best low level death ward clickable. It's been pretty devalued by just how much better this one is and how earlier level it's available, number of uses, everything. But if you don't have the Salt Marsh pack, this is still the best option. You watch, it won't have it in the list now. It's not in the list. It's called Visor of the Flesh Render Guards. It's a 7-minute death ward clickable. Now, is there anything in here? I don't suppose there's a shuriken, is there? Any clickable item? The clickables will be denoted by a number on them usually. Like that, for instance, protection from energy sonic. No, that's not for us. Oh! Now what's it saying? Absolute minimum level 3. Is that a level 3 or a level 5? I have, because we've got an Artificer life coming up next live. I think we have Strinty's hand cannon, which is a level 5 anyway. So I'm not going to take that and clutter things up further. But I am on the lookout this life for rune arms and docents, because I have absolutely no docents whatsoever. Okay, I think we proved that, well, the point I made in a previous one, that if not running on Reaper, this build is more than capable of, I mean, it's so survivable with these healing options. The healing, I hardly ever used the healing key finishing move. I'm sure it was available loads of times and I just ignored it. And of course you get the full benefit from the Cure Serious potions, which with the healing amp you've got, if you're using this Jitstetka thing, which is from the Deneth it's either from the end chain reward you can find it, or you've got a very good chance of finding it in the chests at the end of the final quest in the chain. Is it called Turning the Tide? I actually got a couple of them last life, and for 50 healing amp running in the fire stance, I think it's well worth equipping at the moment at least. Okay, I'm aware that that was a longer quest than normal, so I won't do any waffling afterwards. Hope that was okay for you. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care.